Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, is also brought to you by German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, as well as Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. My name is Faustina Safu. Please stay for details. Of independent, fearless, incredible journalism. Now, the Electoral Commission is at odds with the National Democratic Congress over claims that the NDC made concerning the EC. Now, the EC promised to release a revised provisional voters register for the political parties. The NDC claims that the timeline the EC gave was within 1 week following the last IPAC meeting. While the NDC has been calling for a forensic audit of the voters register, which prompted the EC to convene an emergency IPAC meeting last week. But what exactly did the EC say regarding when it would release the updated provisional register? We'll bring you that shortly. Well, just days after this announcement by Jean Mensa, the NDC expressed strong disappointment over the delays in releasing the provisional register just 60 days before the general election. Let's bring you that key write-up by a leading member of the NDC. It's coming up on your screen shortly, where they actually alleged that the EC chair, Jean Mensa, had promised to provide them with a second provisional voters register within a period of 1 week. And that is coming up on your screen. So Dr. Manebwama wrote this. He says, criminal transfer of votes due to the absence of liveliness test. He was just acknowledging on his post that indeed some of the things that the NDC had put out and the concerns they raised about the operations of the Electoral Commission during the IPAC meeting, he says that the EC actually admitted to some of these things, meaning the NDC is right. So some of the key things he raises: one, the criminal transfer of voters due to absence of liveliness tests; two, the presence of corrupted files that the Commission suggests have been rectified and restored; three, erroneous addition to previous transfers to the current 2024 transfer; four, deleted voters who the Commission wishes to replace on a missing voters register. And then they go on to state the fifth point: a vulnerable EC IT system that is susceptible to system manipulation of data and infiltration from officials and non-officials who have access to login credentials. So they say that these are the concerns they have raised, and indeed at the IPAC meeting the EC admitted some of this, and they go on to say that with this they are expecting that the EC live up to their promise of providing them with a provisional voters register within a period of 1 week. Now, did the EC chair say 1 week? That's something we're interrogating today on Election Brief. But in a sharp response, the Electoral Commission, in a statement dated 8th of October 2024, they firmly deny ever promising to release the register within a week. And that statement is coming up on your screens. Now, this is from the Electoral Commission. It says, the Electoral Commission has taken note of a statement by the National Democratic Congress to the effect that the EC promised to make the revised provisional voters register available to the political parties within a week of the IPAC meeting as follows. They go on to quote that write-up they have seen, and they say the Functional Executive Committee of the NDC has deliberated and decided to accept the EC's promise to release two political parties the corrected, updated version of 2024 Provisional Voters Register for scrutiny within 1 week. Now, the statement from the EC goes on to say, for the records, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission indicated during the televised IPAC meeting that the commission would provide the political parties with the revised provisional voters register and upload it online within 2 weeks or earlier. Nowhere in her statement did the chairperson indicate that the revised PVR would be made available within 1 week. So that's a statement from the EC, you know, debunking claims made by the NDC. And they go on to say, for the avoidance of doubt, we attach the unedited video of the closing remarks made by the EC chair to this effect. So they provided a link in their statement where they have actually stated indeed what they said. And we have tried reaching out to the Electoral Commission just to expand this conversation because we televised live here that IPAC meeting, and we saw indeed that the EC chair had promised that they would release that voters register to the political parties. She gave a timeline 2 weeks or earlier, but the NDC is contesting that. They said that they heard her say she would release it within 1 week. And so the back and forth between the NDC and the EC, we've made efforts to reach the EC just to clarify some of the issues they are raising in their statement. They have declined to speak to us as we speak, but it's a good time to bring in the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbande. You've seen that statement from the EC, debunking claims that indeed they gave a timeline of 1 week. What's the NDC's response to that?
I think that, first of all, a whole statement issued is misplaced, backed by incompetence, inability to deliver on her own timeline, and afterthought, backed by malaise. Clearly, this is the commission that told the whole of Ghana that because the NDC failed to bring evidence of some 250,000 names that were deleted, it will not give us a provisional register contrary to its own promise that they were ready and that we should make available a hard drive, which we did give them. On the said date, the media was there, journalists were there. There was a live coverage of what the Electoral Commission promised the people of Ghana. What the NDC did was just to recap all the items that were accepted or rejected at that meeting back to the Electoral Commission. Today is exactly 2 weeks. The commission is now seeing that letter. Well, but I can tell you on authority that the commission is not ready. The errors that have been identified on the register, the commission so far have not been able to correct all of them. And so when you are faced with such an administrative challenge, in all honesty, come and tell Ghanaians that you need more time, because the honest truth is that we have a lot of time before elections. But to hide behind this level of dishonesty, disingenuous of a character, to tell the whole of Ghana that you never said anywhere that you were going to give a provisional register in 1 week, for me is disheartening. And it just shows
EC clarifies that she gave a timeline, which is 2 weeks or earlier.
Where the attached
we will bring that. We will bring that to our audience shortly. We're working our lines to ensure we get that attached audio so that we can play it back to them. But we're speaking to the statement right now. They are clarifying that nowhere did the EC chair say that they would provide us with that data within 1 week. Your response?
But so, who is chasing the Electoral Commission? The NDC have not chased the Electoral Commission. I'm saying that the letter the EC is making reference to was a recap of the conversation that took place at the IPAC meeting and all the things that have been agreed upon. 2 weeks down the line, you are now reacting to a letter that was served to your office a day after that meeting. For me, it's not incompetence. And I'm saying that we do know. Let Jean Mensa know that we have cycled her 360. Once she has constituted one of the factors that will jeopardize the security and peace of this country, We are aware of what is happening at her outfit. And I can tell you that she is not ready. The Electoral Commission of Ghana is not ready.
The last time during the IPAC meeting, allow me to come in at this point. The last time during the IPAC meeting, the NDC was standing alone because really other political parties sided with the ruling party, the NPP, that indeed the EC has done justice to some of the concerns you have raised, which you admit in the statement that you've put out, that some of the concerns you genuinely raised before the EC is what they have come out to clarify, they have rectified. You still don't trust the EC?
Truth have always stood alone. Truth have always stood alone. And the fact that the NDC stood alone is not enough to say that it doesn't represent what is lawful and what is actually within the rights of a political party called the NDC. We are setting up the next government, and that we are only pursuing transparent elections. We are only pursuing credible elections. We are only consolidating the effort and mandate of the Commission to ensure that the Commission is able to deliver a free and fair election, devoid of rancor, devoid of potential escalations. That is what the NDC does. And elections has nothing to do with trust. Elections has everything to do with the body mandated to be the referee, doing its work to ensure that systems are in place. And I'm telling you that the letter Jim Mensah wrote today is disingenuous. The Commission is not prepared. Let's go back for an IPAC and see if the Electoral Commission can come back before all of us and say they are ready. They are not ready. So the letter is an afterthought to cover up their shame and incompetence, their inability to deliver on their own timelines. And it's simple. Nobody is going after the Commission. Come back honestly and tell the people of Ghana that you need more time to do your work. That is all. Why are you trying to cover up and all of these letters trying to spark another conversation we don't need? We have gone past here. We have identified errors on your own register. We have proven that there are criminals within your own commission who are trying to compromise the election. We've given you evidence. You have sacked people. We have shown that your system are subject to manipulation. Let us strengthen it. Don't do it. It is up to you. Why are you running away from your work? Why is the Mensah running away when nobody is chasing her? She should take her time, come back to the people of Ghana and say that, look, I gave you time. I am not ready. I need extension of time. We will be patient enough. In any case, it is not Jim Mensah we are looking after. We are looking after a credible process of election. She's not ready and she requires enough time to do her work. She should just say that. But all of these politics, unnecessary politics, a commission behaving as if it's a political party, for me is disheartening and something we should not get ourselves into.
Do I get the sense the NDC still doesn't trust the EC?
I've told you that election is not about trust. We are not in a matrimonial relationship. We don't need to trust anybody. Let the Commission put together systems that will ensure one man, one vote, systems that will ensure that fraudsters do not elect a president of Ghana in 2024. We want Ghanaians to go to the polls and select a president. The Electoral Commission is the accounting officer of those votes. She should give the people of Ghana the assurance that the systems are in place to do that. We are not in a family relationship where we need to trust. Is Jim Mensah somebody you can trust? A woman who declared election results 7 times, you want to trust her? A woman who cannot run a district assembly election, you want to trust her? A woman under whose watch people are entering into offices and stealing machines, you are talking about trust? She's incompetent. She's demonstrated so far. A commission at the headquarters is made up of officials who are being motivated by President Akufo-Addo's regime to rig an election. But for the NDC's alertness, they would have compromised the 2024 election. But let me tell you and let me make it very clear to the government and Jim Mensah that 2024 election will be transparent. It will be one man, one vote, and Ghanaians will choose a president peacefully.
And we are going to try and get that video for our audience watching. We just want to pair that video side by side to you, Mr. Fagbande, where the EC chair declares the exact timeline she will be providing the provisional voters register to the political parties. Now, let's look at fallouts from the IPAC meeting. The EC tabled some of the key things that they are putting in place to ensure that the voters register is actually credible enough. Some of the key things they have put out is that they are putting together a template which will provide to the political parties so that if you have issues with the provisional voters register, when they present it to the party the second time, you can then file your complaints. Do you think these measures are enough?
I just think that, listen, this whole thing is an attempt to divert the media from government's biggest mess, which is the Galamsey situation. They have tried everything on their table of strategy to divert the attention of Ghanaians. But you see, Ghanaians have cycled around this problem. It is a Ghanaian centralized problem. Ghanaians are saying that you are in charge of the government, deal with the Galamsey. So they shouldn't try to divert attention. We will not give them the chance and the space to divert the attention of Ghanaians from Galamsey to Electoral Commission. We will stay there. When it is the right time for us to go back to the Electoral Commission, we will go there. This whole thing is a scheme plotted by government influencing the Electoral Commission to bring the Electoral Commission into media timeline so that we sideline the discussion around Galamsey to set government free. It will not happen. We will not join that call.
Allegations we cannot
let the Commission continue to do its work.
Allegations
continue to do its work.
Allegations we cannot prove, by the way. Mr. Fagbande.
I'm saying that the Electoral Commission have promised Ghanaians it will definitely bring out a voters register. If it likes, let Jim Mensah bring the provisional voters register a day before the election. We will still accept it and win that election because at the polls, at the polling station, it will be one man, one vote. And she will declare the total votes of the number of people who have voted legally and who are eligible to vote. There will be nothing short of that. So we are not concerned about all the jamborees and all the schemes and all the diversions that Jim Mensah is engaged in. And I'm saying this particular conversation is an attempt to divert the attention of Ghanaians from Galamsey to Electoral Commission. We decline that call. Government should be responsible and doing to deal with its own mess. For the people who are around Galamsey are in the Jubilee House. The president knows them. He should man up as a president for the first time and deal with his mess. The NDC will not join that call. We decline it.
And I'm informed that we're working to get that video for you. Mr. Fagbande, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. We'll bring you back here on Election Brief so that we can, finish this conversation on the right note, play back that video, and then get the sense of the exact timeline that the Electoral Commission gave to the people of Ghana and political parties. Well, moving on, NPP running mate Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh has highlighted his party's plan to tackle illegal mining through the establishment of a minerals development bank. Speaking at a campaign event in Manso Edubia constituency in the Ashanti region, he stressed that the bank, when established, will empower young small-scale miners to engage in responsible, regulated mining, helping them expand their operations while protecting the environment. Dr. Opoku Prempeh emphasized that this approach will mark a significant shift in the NPP's government efforts to combat illegal mining and safeguard our forests and water bodies.
During his campaign tour of the Ashanti region, NPP running mate Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh visited several churches in the Manso Edubia constituency, where he expressed gratitude for their prayers and blessings for the presidential candidate himself and the entire NPP. He outlined Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's vision, assuring miners that the next NPP government will shift from banning illegal mining to supporting lawful operations. Matthew Opoku Prempeh announced NPP's plans to establish a minerals development bank to provide financial aid to the sector.
Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia buying on the Sisayaba,
Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's administration has outlined a plan for sustainable mining. He emphasized that mining will continue, but in an environmentally friendly manner. Bawumia also pledged to establish a bank that will provide loans to miners to support responsible mining practices. Highlighting the NPP's strong record on economic growth, he showcased the government achievement in cocoa production, farmer incentives, and overall welfare improvement for cocoa farmers. Before President Akufo-Addo took office, a bag of cocoa could buy only 13 bags of cement, but today it can buy 34 bags. A good government improves workers' conditions rather than destroying them. We are committed to improving farmers' livelihoods and have achieved more in Manso Adubia than the NDC, though we know more remains to be done. Without the NPP government, the hardship we face today as a country would have been even worse. The clergy offered prayers for God's protection over the running mate and the NPP.
Away from that, the Movement for Change team, led by Hopsin Adoye, is making bold promises for women in governance, with Alan Tremontin pledging an unprecedented 50% female representation in his government if elected. On the fourth day of their campaign tour of Ho in the Volta region, Mr. Adoye emphasized Tremontin's commitment to empowering women and giving them a central role in shaping Ghana's future.
Empowerment. Alan has promised in the GTP that he's going to make sure his government will give about 50% women allocation in his government. He promised that about 60% of the government will be youth, and then that youth 60%, 50% will be women. So you could see the vision for women and this GTP thing. Alan is not going to play with that. We all know him. When he says this, he will do it. So for that one, we know the affirmative action bill has been passed and all those kind of things. Alan is going to make sure it works. He's not going to say, oh, I didn't know. Every government will say, oh, we'll give women. When they come there, the highest will be somewhere 13%. It will not even cross 20% and all that. We'll make sure we do that. Are you getting it? If we had the way, look at parliament like this. Women are always losing. Like, why can't we make a system that, okay, if you win as a woman, this constituency, both parties, your stronghold, you allocate some of the constituencies for women, so that all the time we'll be having women in parliament and all those. But you see a woman getting to parliament, just one term, then you see about 10 men contesting her. If she's not lucky and then she loses, it means they are dropping. But Alan is consistent. He's saying that he's going to make them listen.
Well, that's how we wrap up the show. For more news, please log on to myjournline.com. My name is Faustina Safo. Good afternoon.
My name is Kenneth Ashigbe. I am the Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications. It is important that we all support media freedom. We need to realize the fact that media freedom is our freedom. What the media does for us is to hold that in trust for us, and especially as we get close to the elections. It is important for all players to notice that journalism is not a crime. The journalists doing their jobs need to be given the protections that are required. The media houses also need to come together and put together schemes to ensure the protection of all journalists. Let's all make sure that we support media freedoms and ensure that by the end of these elections, no journalists will be attacked. Hashtag defend media freedom, GH.
Today's contest is like Kingdom Filipino Fighter.
The stage is set, the atmosphere electric. These are the minds ready to engage in the ultimate battle where every second counts and every answer could make or break their dream.
You can contest with us, but you can never compete us.
Beat everyone. It's one all out, no stress.
And for some, it's all about that one word. While others, their hearts beat in sync with every point earned. And for some, the pain of defeat lingers long after the final riddle. The national championship of the 2024 National Science and Maths Quiz this October. Catch all the contests on Joy News, Joy Prime and Joy FM and follow the action across our social media platform. Who will be crowned champion? Let the quiz begin.
Best wishes to all three schools.
The 2024 National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with Goyle PLC and supported by Pepsodent, Lead for Ghana LBG, Junipay, Prudential Life Insurance Ghana, Better Malt, ALX, Kivo, Bell Beverages, Flora Tissues, Accra College of Medicine, Academic City University College, PMMC Jewelry, GTP, and YFM. The broadcast of the National Science and Maths Quiz on Joy News is supported by NAS.